I think the job of being a teacher is so rewarding in so many ways.
The connection between you and the whole class, that's still unbeatable.
When my pupils are successful, it feels incredible.
I think the greatest thing for me is seeing the pupils that I teach love the subject as much as I do.
I don't think there's any other job where you get the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search Apply to Teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your host, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Here we go.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 583. This is yours, Danny, and also joining me this week, the regular co-host of GTR. Let's start off with Pete.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's going on?
I'm wishing I was at San Diego Comic-Con.
You know, you want to go next year, Pete?
I would love to go to San Diego Comic-Con.
I mean, Paris says it's like a zoo. Way too many people.
I am okay with that. It doesn't matter. Like, I've been to SuperCon, I've been to MegaCon, but San Diego Comic-Con is the ultimate comic convention experience. So and it's funny because I typically go to Comic-Cons to buy comic books, to go and get those hard to finds or those key issues. And I never go to the panels, but this is one that it's almost like you have to go to the panels and worry about comic books later.
We're going to talk about that because I think it's a little bit harder, man, with the panels. You have to wait in line for a day or so, hours, just to attend a panel. So I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it for me to go over there or not, but
I don't know. My buddy Paul was, he's been there all week. He works for Google, and he sat in that 4-hour CW panel yesterday.
That is crazy.
He said it was so good though. Like, it was that's why I want to go, because I want to go for things like that where it's you get all that information before the rest of the world gets it, right? So
but also joining us, Paris.
But see, Pete, I have to kind of counter that slightly.
Of course you do.
I do. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? So
good morning.
No. I agree. If you've never been to Comic-Con, you should 100% go and experience it. Stand in lines, do as many panels as you can, etc. I've not gone now. 3-4 years. I haven't gone because I just got burnt out on it, because I just felt like standing in those lines wasn't worth the information that I was getting versus I was getting the same information online kind of real time anyways. Like, for example, you just mentioned all the CW panels. Yeah, it'd have been cool to be there for 4 hours and just sink all that information in live. But I literally knew everything as it was happening anyway. Right. So look, I'm not saying to not go, because trust me, some of our friends, are actually working Comic-Con this year, and some of them are going as fans, and I've just been seeing their reactions online, and I get a little jealous. I could have went, but I don't know, man. It didn't feel worth it. I'll say this, Pete, if you go, I'll go.
Word.
I'll go with you. But for me,
Swole Brothers in San Diego.
That's what I'm saying. But it's not. Actually, I should go, because I should take my kids. They've never been. I should take them so they can experience it. But I look, I notice I say this a lot lately. I'm 42 years old. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. I don't know if I need to do stuff anymore. But I will say the information that has come out of Comic-Con, Danny, I kind of slightly mentioned this before we recorded, but
yes.
I'm really digging what DC is doing on the movie side and especially on the TV side. I'm really liking the universes that they're building. I kind of wish it was all one universe, but take that out. I'm really liking it. You can tell the executives at Warner Brothers was like, what the hell were we doing with Batman and Superman? We got to fix this. And so far, the stuff with Wonder Woman and Justice League looks good. I mean, hell, the trailer for Batman and Superman looked good to me before that movie came out, so we'll see. But definitely on the DC TV side, I'm really liking that universe. Really, hey, Flashpoint season. Whew, I can't wait. It's gonna be good.
If you saw the end of Flash, you knew that was that had to be what was going to be for season 3. Question though, who is the guy in the black suit?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Is that Black Racer? And there's like a rumor it's supposed to be David West or something like that. Then it's supposed to be Wally's the Wally reverse Flash. Is it it's not, was it Johnny Quick? Because he's got like the suit with the weird like ears coming out. So it's like there's so many things there, and it's
You know what I like, and we'll talk actual video games in a second. But the thing I liked about that trailer they showed for season 3 is that Reverse Flash is kind of like the voice of reason. And if you watch, and if you've read the comic book Flashpoint stuff, Reverse Flash is very central and all that. So that I'm excited, and the fact that Reverse Flash is now going to be a part of the Legion of Doom. I love it.
You're the villain now. Oh, yeah. That when you threw that line, I was just like, "That's it, I'm done."
Yep.
And you know what's funny?
I know. I do have a couple of things to ask you guys about the also Marvel. They show a lot of things over there too.
Planet Hulk. That's all I got to say. Drop the mic. I'm walking away. I'm done.
That's it. All right.
I'm done.
No. Sorry. Freaking that Doctor Strange. Oh my God. That looks so amazing. That is the movie I am looking forward to. Yes, it'll be dope to see Hulk and, Ragnarok and coming from Planet Hulk. Are we going to see the Gray Hulk? Are we going to see that combination of the rage and power of Hulk with the intelligence and the ability to speak like Bruce Banner?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry. Watching that trailer last night, I went back 3 or 4 times to watch it for that Doctor Strange, that one scene where he's standing there.
Which one?
He's standing there and he's got the adept to his left, and it looks like a rectangle, and you just see the city just rotating around him.
Yeah,
I lost it.
Dope. That scene was dope, man.
Lost it. And then at the end, he's like, "What's this? What is this? Is this like a secret code?" Nah, man, that's a Wi-Fi password. Think we 70s?
Yo, you know which one too? It was pretty dope too. The Netflix shows, man. Luke Cage. Whew, that one looks pretty. Hey, and they also had Old Dirty Bastard in the background, man.
Well, that's
that
what's his name? Ali Shaheed Muhammad from the Tribe Called Quest is doing the soundtrack
right?
with Adrian Young for the Luke Cage series. So
that's dope.
Couple of things on that. First of all, Marvel is to the point now. I hate to say this, but I kind of expect this from them now. But dude, that Netflix, what they're doing on Netflix, whew, look, Daredevil, amazing. Jessica Jones was good. Luke Cage looked like it's going to be amazing. We got the Iron Fist teaser. They're coming together for the Defenders. Dude,
don't forget Punisher.
I'm about to say, not to mention the Punishers out there too.
That's another one too, yeah.
Dude, there's so much, and it's rumored that Blade is coming to Netflix. Oh my God, dude, they got so much stuff. Hey, but I got to say this: you talk about most anticipated out of the Marvel stuff from yesterday. All I got to say is this: hashtag Black Panther so lit. That's all I got to say.
Oh yes, you're right.
That cast. Oh my God, Michael B. Jordan's going to be the main villain. Pfft, come on. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. Woo. Like I said, I kind of just expect this from Marvel now. Not to mention, oh, by the way, Brie Larson, she's going to be Captain Marvel. It's just like, whatever. Dude, so good. Oh, one last thing for me. I'm sorry. I have to say this one too.
Yeah, go for it.
That King Kong Skull Island, that little teaser trailer.
Ooh, crazy. Nuts.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my
after
God.
This, you got to watch it after this. Watch it.
Okay.
I almost want him to watch it now just to hear his reaction live.
and after you watch it, just remember this. Godzilla and King Kong are crossing over into the same universe now, and eventually they're going to, after Godzilla 2, you're going to have King Kong versus Godzilla. Just remember that after you watch that trailer.
Exclusive. You heard it here first.
Exclusive. All right, head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it/gamertag and give us a call. 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Email us fanmail@gamertagradio.com. And of course, share the content with your friends and subscribe. We're everywhere. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and other podcast directories. But I know during Comic-Con, they also had video game panels. I think Paris was like very excited about the whole Gears of War announcement.
Hey, well, you know why I'm excited? Because they kind of blew out all the PC stuff that's going to come out, just the optimizations and the features. I mean, they're going to have ultra wide screen support. They're going to have 4K textures in there. They're giving me what I want. They're giving the people what they want. I see absolutely no reason I'll play this on Xbox, because they're making, and look, there's not going to be mods or anything crazy like that, but the fact that I can customize all my settings on the PC, with this whole UWP initiative, Xbox Anywhere, it's what I want. So I'll be playing Gears of War 4 in 4K. Thank you.
Ooh. Pete, what about you, man? Are you going to play on the Xbox or PC?
I haven't
Gears of War.
Yet. I haven't decided. More than likely, since we'll be able to have the opportunity to have play anywhere, I'll probably do PC, just because I want to see what this 1080 can do. Yes, Witcher 3 looks amazing, but I want to get something fresh from 2016 that'll fully utilize and maximize the potential for this 1080 card. I will say, though, seeing things like Marvel Ultimate Alliance bundle get thrown out there, I think that looks pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about this Red Sonja video game. Have you guys heard about this?
No. What is it?
Yeah, no.
All right, so I'm trying to remember the name of the company that's pushing it out. But yeah, it's Red Sonja. It's the female counterpart to Conan the Barbarian. I think it's Dynamite Entertainment that's going to be pushing it out. But yeah, and F84 Games along with Dynamite Entertainment. Something that's going to be coming out allegedly winter 2016 or Q1 for 2017. So should be interesting.
Oh, one other thing on Gears real quick. On the PC side, the campaign will have unlocked frame rate, but on multiplayer, they're going to lock it to be on par with Xbox, which is fine. I think it's still 60 frames per second, so that's fine. But that's the one thing that you'll see with Xbox Anywhere, and it makes sense because you want to make it fair. If you're going to do multiplayer, you want that to be both to be on par. If you're going to do that cross-play stuff, you don't want to give either side a true advantage. But campaign, just go nuts, and I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
This episode, we have an interview with Niero, the founder of Destructoid. We got together a couple of days ago here in Miami, and we had a very, very long conversation because I noticed I was checking out his social media pages, and I noticed he wasn't really posting much. He's been behind the scenes doing stuff for the website. He's been traveling a lot. So we talked about a lot of things about Destructoid. And also, I'm asking him a couple questions about their 10th year anniversary, the whole business side, the whole blogging. How has it changed, from 10 years ago to now, everything with YouTube and Twitch. And also ask him a couple questions about the whole Gamergate controversy that happened last year. With Destructoid and everything. So we talked about that, and man, it's a lot of things. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview. But first, I know we have a sponsor for this episode.
Are you ready to save money and play more games? Then let me introduce you to our sponsor, Gamefly. Gamefly is the best way to buy and rent all your favorite games. Just go to Gamefly.com, pick your favorite games, and have them mailed directly to your door. Gamefly is the leading video game rental service. Over 9,000 titles to choose from. It'll let you try your favorite games and movies before you buy. Keep the games as long as you want. You'll never have to worry about late fees, and you can cancel at any time. And now they offer movie rentals too. So go to Gamefly.com/gamertag and start your free premium 30-day trial today. That premium trial allows you to check out 2 games or movies at a time, and you get this offer by visiting Gamefly.com/gamertag. So go sign up now. Start playing all your favorite games absolutely free for 30 days at Gamefly.com/gamertag.
Definitely, man. Take advantage. A lot of new games coming up. So
I'm impressed, Paris. That sounded damn good.
So thanks to Gamefly for sponsoring the show. And we're going to play the interview right about now. And once we come back, we have a couple other topics, and we're going to wrap it up. We'll be right back.
Welcome
to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Back on the scene.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so I'm here with Niero, the founder of Destructoid. I known him for a very long time. We used to do parties back in the days here locally in Miami, Florida. Niero, first of all, welcome back to Miami. How's everything with you, man? What's up?
Thanks for having me back. It's like the Latino connection.
It's been a while since you've been on our show. I think we worked a couple of times for our past party of community vibes and stuff like that, and I know your party too. So, what's up? Because you really haven't. You've been on the low, in the background, behind the scenes, doing stuff for Destructoid. So, how's everything with you?
It's going very well. It's been 10 years of Destructoid, which is insane in terms of internet time. It was 10 years of gamertag recently.
11 years.
Yeah, look at that. It's a grandpapa podcaster. 10 years of Destructoid. It's insane. Destructoid, for those of you who don't know us, we started out as my personal video game blog. I wanted to go to E3 for a vacation, just try to sneak in, just to have some fun, and I got shot down because I wasn't part of the video game press. So I started a video game blog to get my E3 credentials, and God, I loved it so much that I just wanted to keep doing it and just read the comments every day and post more stuff. And 10 years later, we've been nonstop, and we have a full team doing it. So it's been a dream. I'm living the dream. So
yeah, I know you were telling me before we recorded you've been traveling a lot. Have you been taking a break from the whole video game industry stuff? Because it's been a while since I've seen you at gaming events.
Well, I was at E3 2015, and I was also there for GDC. But it's sad because when you start a website, you want to do content. You don't want to do webmaster updates, or you don't want to do Google patches, you don't want to do ad server setup or CDN, or so all these other things that come with running a website. I had to make that decision. Like, I'm a good webmaster and I'm a loudmouth blogger, but I'm the best webmaster the team has. So I took a kind of like a behind the scenes position at Destructoid. It's where I kind of run things behind the scenes. So I'm not as public as I used to be.
Now, when you launched your blog, I know back then there wasn't many competition back then. Like there was a lot of blogs, but I'm talking about like mainstream wise, like well-known blogs. I think at that time maybe you guys and Gadget, Joystick. But yeah, IGN is still there. There's a couple other sites there, but now things has changed nowadays. With the whole YouTube and Twitch. How's that compared to back then and now? Like, how's that affected you guys, blog wise?
Sure. Yeah, it's really changed. It's changed so much. It's unrecognizable. When I first started out, I used to go to a website called Technorati, and I would try to discover the best blogs on Blogspot, sites like that were doing interesting content, and then I would try to create original content and submit it to these little sites. And back then I was happy that I had 300 readers. That was like, oh, I'm killing it. I'm doing awesome. People are reading it. And then, over the years, these companies get acquired or they go out of business. The whole ad scene has completely changed. YouTube's changed everything. Publishing has never been easier. And I feel like there's almost 30 sites that I used to compete with. Sites like Joystick, sites like Game Daily, sites like, there was a bunch of specific Xbox sites at the time that are gone. They're gone. If you look at the Wikipedia list of gaming media sites, it's a sad story. So I feel like I'm super lucky that I'm still in this hustle. And, it's me and the cable companies now.
So what is it that motivates you and your team to continue to do this? Because, you could get burned out. And that's the thing. When I met you back then, dude, you were everywhere. You were doing a lot of events. You were doing a lot of stuff. So was there a time that you got burned out And what makes you nowadays to continue to just blog?
Yeah, well, as a small company, so it's me out of my kitchen. Like a lot of people don't know that. They see Destructoid, it's like, oh, it's big media. Like, dude, it's me and a couple of dudes just hustling, and it's always been. I've gotten better at delegating and focusing on the stuff we do best. Events is a good example. Like, you know how hard it is to pull off an awesome event. That would shut me down for 3 months. And we would have a great time, but those were like 3 months where we could have been working on our YouTube channel, or 3 months where I could have put that energy into doing a bunch of original content. So I feel like I'm having to sort of focus on the editorial piece more. Yeah, we've gotten more serious about it because we're in it for the long haul. We want to stay here where other companies have tripped up.
One of the things that I noticed is that you guys had a lot of writers that were well known in the gaming industry that eventually left. Now they're doing their own thing. Either they're working in a different gaming company or YouTube channel or something. So how hard was that? Because there was a lot of writers that you had that were very influential in the gaming industry and stuff. So when you get the news like, hey, I'm moving on, I'm quitting Destructoid, how hard was that for you?
Initially, it was brutal, man, because you get attached to, like, they're your kids, right? You discover them, they're obscure people doing funky stuff, and you rein them in and you publish them and you put them in front of people, and they become a success of their own. It used to really bother me, and now my nickname is like Papa Niero. It's like I've got all these kids in the gaming industry. I've launched all these careers.
Name a few. Name a few. Those that don't know.
Yeah, if you know Jim Sterling, probably our most popular graduate. Like I say sometimes, like Destructoid is like the best community college for the video game journalism industry because IGN eventually gets all our dudes. I can't compete with cable companies, but Max Scoville from the Comedy Button is another awesome one. You have
I tell you one, Nick Chester. Now he worked for Epic now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Nick was our first was our second editor in chief, and then he went to Harmonix. He did a great job at Harmonix, and now he's at Epic. So many people. I've published almost 400 people in the last 10 years. It's insane. Like I have so many kids, I can't keep track of them.
So what is it that makes you want to continue, Niero? Because everything has changed from 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Everything has changed, with the whole competition, YouTube videos and everything like that. What makes you want to continue to do this, man? Because for us, I just find it like we're having a blast with our podcast, Yeah, I know. Sometimes we go to different events, companies invite us to check out their games in San Francisco or in different countries or whatever. But when we get there, we're the only podcast there, and everybody else YouTubers or Twitch streamers. And we joke around and behind the scenes, we're like old dinosaurs, man. You know what I'm saying? So what makes you and your team to continue to do this?
We answer to no one. And that's really it. I think, I don't know. That's a good question for, my EICs. But I think for me personally, and I think they'll agree, is as an independent company, we have so much creative freedom. Like I wake up in the morning and it's today we're gonna focus on Pokemon Go, or tomorrow we're gonna call out Microsoft for something. We don't answer to anybody. We do what we want to do, and I think coming from so many corporate jobs before I did Dtoid, work can be brutal, and work can really beat you down, and doing what you love, you got to work for the majority of your life. You might as well do what you love. And I've been a long time gamer. I can't imagine of me doing anything else. It just makes me happy.
I know this year I went to E3 and you were not there. I know you had your writers over there at E3. What was it that you just I feel like you don't attend events as much now. Now you're very picky on where to go, what to cover, and why is that?
Well, it's one thing. It's knowing our readers, and another thing is the fact that we're a small company. So I'll go all out if it's a console launch year, or if we have a scoop on something that we think is going to be a big year. This year we were pretty conservative on it. Our readers are very. I felt like this was like the pre-VR E3. Where people are trying to figure out how VR is. It was a big developer show. There was a lot of off E3 content. So we didn't go out in a big way, and I didn't feel like I needed to be there personally.
Was there? I mean, now that there's PlayStation 4 Neo, Scorpio from Xbox, and Xbox One S. Was that not enough for you guys to go over there and cover it too?
We will cover it, and as you saw, everybody was trying to get a scoop or a soundbite, and it was just like, we're not ready to talk about Scorpio. We're not ready to talk about, the VR lineup. So, I mean, we got the news. I felt like we had a decent attendance, but no, it was kind of a weird E3. It was like feels like overall, and also as an industry as a whole, it feels like it's kind of in transition. I feel like we're going somewhere for 2018, but we're not there yet.
What is it that the most difficult thing for you and your crew with Dtoid? What is it the most difficult thing, the most stressful thing? Because there's people that want to launch their own website or a podcast or YouTube channel, whatever, and they probably want to do the same thing for them to attend E3.
For me personally, since I work in the behind the scenes, it's logistics. I have readers that are very interested in this content. How do I find the money to get people on airplanes to get to this event? How do I get people to pay? Destructoid's a big site, but we're not 100 million readers. We're a lot smaller than that. How do you find the money? So I spend a lot of my time kind of like looking in the sofa and hitting up my contacts and trying to make it work. And one thing that I loved when I first started doing this is that you put a couple of ads on your webpage, and then the content is free, and everything's free for everybody, whether you're 6 years old or 50 years old. The website's free. The advertising just pays for it, and advertising online as a whole for the entire internet industry is figuring itself out, and kind of that it's just been a roller coaster for us, where we'll have a good year, we'll have a bad year. What used to be easy to get 30 bodies to E3 is now tricky to get 6 people there, and then our traffic's the same. So like, what's up? Logistics, man. It's an unfortunate part of running a website, but it pays for the party, so I got to do it.
I know a couple of years ago you posted an article, an editorial about ad blocks, how that is affecting your site, and not only your site, but also people that are doing the same thing as you. How that whole thing, how was it that you discovered that? And for those who are listening, why ad block is not a great thing for sites like Destructoid?
Yeah, I didn't even know about ad block until some company reached out of the blue, and they said, well, you have a very tech-savvy audience, and maybe you should do an audit. I was like, all right, I'll do an audit. And lo and behold, like 50% of our ads were being blocked. It's like, well, no wonder we're freaking starving. And it, there's a lot of there's a lot of feelings going to that. It's like, like people are not supporting our site. They're blocking us. They don't understand how difficult it is to go out and travel to get all this content that they want to read about, and who's going to pay for that. So I had to figure all of that out. I had to figure out, I had to challenge our ad companies. I had to, I had a epic thread on Reddit about it, and
it went viral. Like it went around. I think that the gaming industry was supporting you guys, and not only you, but just other websites too that they're probably going through the same situation. It went around. I got to see this everywhere on Twitter, social media.
I even did an interview on NPR. I was on NPR. That was crazy. So, and then the theme of the NPR story was like, who's going to pay for all this free content? So, as Papa Nero, who's trying to, put out the free gaming website and learning about, his kids, blocking his ads, is like, God, what am I going to do here? So eventually we did like an ad-free version, and a lot of our readers came through and supported us that way. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think we would still be here, honestly.
Really? Wow. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions. I know it's going to be, maybe it might be difficult for you to answer, but if you don't want to answer, it's fine. I'm curious because the whole Gamergate thing was a huge controversy. Tell us, how do you feel about this whole thing? Because, I'm a fan of Destructoid. I'm a fan of a lot of other websites. A lot of journalists are very influential in the gaming industry. They're going through the same exact thing about the whole Gamergate. I mean, now it's calmed down, I think, compared to how it was 2 years ago, a year ago. It was everywhere. How that whole thing started and how do you feel about that right now?
I think overall, Gamergate is positive in that it challenges websites like ours and many others to be more transparent with the readers. That's really the core of it. Gamergate hashtag has been used by various types of people to promote their own interests, which has kind of muddled the message. So Gamergate means a lot of things to a lot of different people. I feel like it reminds me of when I first started, and I had this innate distrust of the magazines, where I was like, you guys are selling the cover story, which still happens. You guys are, not being transparent about the sponsored content that you're plugging on YouTube, PewDiePie, and that stuff needs to be disclosed. So I don't know. There's that, and then there's also the unfortunate side where it's kind of like a witch hunt, where it's like gaming industry are friends of other people in the gaming industry, and it's illegal to network, which is kind of scary. Like, how are we supposed to learn and network? And
isn't it supposed to be like, for us, we love building relationships. We're not trying to sell out, but I think with any industry, you should build that relationship and just be real with your readers or listeners or viewers. Just be real with them instead of hiding stuff. Do you feel the same way too?
Yeah, no, totally. But so it's almost like wrong place, wrong time, where you can be at a party with a Sony guy and then you have PlayStation ads that somebody completely unrelated to you bought. So I think a lot of journalists kind of did like a step back on social media, because we don't really want our families and our lives being put under a microscope. So that's the ugly side of Gamergate, especially like women in the games media were hit the hardest on that, and that's really sad. It's a passionate audience. Gamers can be the best people in the world, but if they think that you're trying to pull something on them, they're the worst. And
I know you went through a lot with that stuff. So how do you manage to keep it calm and keep it cool still to this day? Because it's hard. It's really, really hard when it comes to those drama behind the scenes.
Sure. Well, like I said, Gamergate means a lot of different things to different people. If as a publisher, I feel like my job is to keep the Republic healthy so that the citizens can continue to thrive. I've had to fire some people over the years, and it hasn't been a lot of people, but every time you fire somebody's favorite editor, that really sucks. And then that they go to bat for their boy. We've had a couple of people that we've had to let go, and we've taken a beating in social media for it. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, I've published 400 people that came from nowhere, like me, that are nothing. Remember that it's harder for me to train a new person than to let somebody go that's already doing the work. But that's a hard, that's not a sexy story, right? It's a sexy story, oh, this guy got fired, Gamergate. But it's easier to play quarterback when you really have all the facts.
See, that's one of the things that a lot of the people that maybe support those writers, that they see that you fire them, or they only know one side of the story. So how stressful is that for you, man? Because a lot of the former writers in the past, they probably will take advantage of the situation and they will call you guys out. The whole controversy stuff. So how was it for you guys to handle that situation?
You know, at the end of the day, I just have to do what's best for the company. I have to protect. You know, we host an insane amount of just regular readers' blogs, and I just have to keep the company going. I can't have all this like wildness being posted without editing. That you know, if one like lone wolf goes out and does a thing that thinks he's gonna make him famous, well, you know, go be famous, man. But don't drag the whole team with it. It's a team effort. And at the end of the day, everybody that doesn't write for Destructoid anymore, I can't actually think of one single person that I don't miss, because those people were hired because they had unique voices, because they were skilled at what they do. It's harder for me to replace that person than it is to fire them. But then people will be like, well, Niero fired them because he's evil. No, dude, it's a lot of work to replace that person. I wouldn't do that if I didn't have a really, really good reason to do that. Yeah, you know, and like I said, like that's not a sexy headline. I don't expect people to empathize with me, and I feel like my job is just kind of like to keep things going behind the scenes. I don't have to be the rock star. I'm like the drummer, you know. I just kind of keep the beat going, and my job is to produce rock stars. I want to find the next Jim Sterling. Like you know, we have a community site where we publish community blogs right on the homepage. Like you can be a nobody from nowhere with no contacts and get on the homepage of Destructoid and get a billion followers. Like that's one of the reasons why I really love my site and my company. Is I remember what it was like when I was struggling, and I make it easier for that next guy. And doing that's brought me a lot of success. Helping other people has brought me a lot of success. The majority of what Destructoid does is help people that are become industry. And we don't get a lot of credit for that. And
why is that? Why do you feel that you're not getting credit for that, though?
I feel like we used to. We've been around for 10 years. We're old, legacy, evil.
Dinosaurs like us.
We're dinosaur media, man. They don't know. They don't do the research. They don't listen to this podcast. Yeah. They don't know what's up.
See, like for me, I remember when I started internet radio back in 2001. I remember sending my content to IGN. I'm like, oh, IGN, check us out. Never got an email from them and everything like that. So I know how it is, like the struggle and everything. So what is it for you? What is it that get your attention? Like, man, you know, that writer that just posted on our created a blog on our website. What is it that the thing that will be cool for them to get your attention?
So it's two things. A cool thing about us is that you can upvote community content. So you can come on and create a blog and suddenly have a bunch of, we call our upvote system FAPs. So if a bunch of people FAP to your content, then it's easier for the community managers to promote it. And what I personally look for is an original voice, an original angle. Like I feel like the biggest mistake that people make when they want to get into the industry is they'll go out and they'll start reviewing games as the first thing they do. They don't create original stuff. And sites like IGN, sites like Destructoid, we're looking for original angles to stuff to fill the weekend. So, you know, that's like my number one advice for people starting out in the industry. It's just, you know, look for that original angle and send your original pieces out, and you'll be surprised how many people pick it up.
Your opinion about the whole clickbait things, because, you know, headlines, people would like to get attention. What are your thoughts about that? Because I've been seeing that a lot, not only on blogs, but YouTube and other medium, like, you know, podcasts too.
It's the worst thing you can do, honestly. We have a 60-page wiki for training people, like, not to do that. The worst feeling is, you want to spend 5 minutes on the internet just to, disconnect your brain for a second. You think you can trust a headline, and then you go in and it's, you get bait and switch into something else. It's disgusting. People do it because I guess they're having trouble with their business, or it's a cheap way to get clicks. I'm so happy that the whole industry is moving away from clicks and page views, and like I can't stand it. I get as frustrated as you do.
So what the industry is doing now to get page views and everything?
Well, like, page views don't matter anymore, and I tell that to my writers all the time. It's like we don't care. The way that online advertising works now is targeting. So if random banner network knows that you're interested in video games, they'll follow you around to CNN with the video game you're interested in until you buy, and then we'll get some pennies from that down the line if we made the introduction. So sending 1 billion people to an article, that doesn't matter anymore. It's like an old way to do media. Like there's no reason to do it, basically.
When you got to see those changes, was it recently? Was it around the 10 years mark for you guys?
It's a trend called SSPs. I think it's service side providers. So the whole ad industry, like, completely independent of video games, the whole ad industry is changing to these service side providers that kind of like bid on inventory for advertising in real time, which is super boring to anybody that just wants to hear about video game stuff. But it's all changed. Like, we don't even track page views anymore because we want to make our site as fast as possible. We don't want to load the page over again. And so our site has like infinite scrolling, and if you read one article, the related stories just magically appear on the other one. Like, page views is like it's like an old metric. But I still see it in the comments like, oh, you guys are writing about Pokemon again. You guys are trying to get the page views. We cater to our audience. That's the only reason we've been able to stay relevant for 10 years is we try to write about what gamers like. Sometimes it's writing about cringeworthy stories, like, people falling off a cliff when chasing their Pokemon, or being shot at. In that sense, okay, I am guilty for some clickbait, but that's like a car accident. You kind of rubberneck. You can't look away. Yeah, we cover that stuff.
Now I have a couple more questions so we can wrap it up. Was there any mistakes that, like, one of the major mistakes that you think that you guys made and you learned from that out of the 10 years you've been doing this?
Mistakes, I've made a few.
You could talk about.
Oh, goodness. Weekly, God. I think the biggest thing was I didn't see YouTube coming. Who could, right? I started in 2006, right when YouTube was taking off. I didn't invest in the whole YouTube thing, and that's where a lot of it is gone. I feel like a lot of blogs have shut down because they didn't have the YouTube piece. And as a very, very small company, we're very lean and mean. We've been able to brave it through other means. Yeah, I think like my number one regret was not doing YouTube when YouTube was young. That's pretty much it.
I think everybody feels that. A lot of people feel that way, man. So what's next for the Destructoid?
Man, I'm so hyped about VR. But I feel like I'm talking to myself every time I blog about it.
Why are you so hyped about VR? Like, right now, I see the early stages of VR. I know that Facebook invested a lot and purchased Oculus, not because of the whole gaming thing, more of the social side, So what is it that to you that you see VR as something very big for Destructoid?
Maybe it's because I'm old, but for me it feels like VR is rediscovering video games for the first time. It's actually being in your favorite first-person shooter and holding the gun and watching that body fall in front of you. You're like, oh my God, what did I just do? And have you played GTA in VR?
No, I haven't at all.
Okay, it's not officially supported. There's a bunch of mods, and it's a tremendous mission to get it set up. It'll shut down your whole weekend to get this set up. But like, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. It's intense. It's too technical for the average person to do. It's way too expensive right now to even get into like a decent VR to like the test systems that we play with at E3. Those are like $3,000 systems right off the bat. And they're not even that good, you know. Like we're hearing rumors now that the Vive 2 is coming in 6 months and all this stuff. But once you've played really, really good VR, once you've done like the really sick demos, you have to wonder like, well, unless you're getting like super dizzy and throwing up, like I feel like that's where the industry is going. I feel like that's the next big thing.
Any advice for those readers that, because I'm going to tell you one story. Yami from Tufinit. Oh, yeah. That's my homegirl. Well, very, really cool. She's here also from Miami locally. She knows, she always talks about you, and she mentions every time I talk to her, she be like, look, you know, Niero Destructoid is the reason why I have a website, Tufinit. And there's a lot of young people, young writers that probably feel the same way. Hearing your story, knowing the history about Destructoid, that it will influence them to launch their own, it could be a website, YouTube channel. So what advice you would give them starting? Because it was a different time back then. Now it's a totally different way now to get your name out there now. Any advice?
Man, I mean, if I had to say today, I was like, start a YouTube channel. Don't do what I do. But you know, there's people like me that I'm not like a naturally charismatic person like you are, that can, you know, have your own show. Like your readers are probably like turning their eyebrows, like this monotone dude doing a radio show. No, man, like if you can do YouTube, you should. If you want to do a publication, yeah, I used to do these panels at PAX where I would teach people soup to nuts how to get your WordPress site on all the search engines, and how to monetize, and how to set up the ad networks, and how to get publishers to send you review copies of stuff. I would do an hour-long lesson and PowerPoint. You can download all the slides on Destructoid if you can still find it. You know, the biggest thing is, you know, you got to do the work. You got to wake up every morning. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care what your agenda is. I don't care how upset your girlfriend, your boyfriend is. You're not coming out this weekend. You got to do the work. My thing was like I had a full-time job when I started Dtoid, and I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would do 4 posts a day scheduled throughout the day, and I'd get home and I'd do another 4 posts. And I was starving, and nobody cared for the first few years, and now we're a thing. So that's basically it. You gotta, if you want to be a writer, if you want to write every day, then you got to write every day.
Yo, I just remember you mentioned about PAX panels. So one of my first panels that I had, I think it was like 2007. It was at PAX Prime. They invited me randomly. Like, it was actually Penny Arcade contacted me in the last minute. Somebody dropped out, and they wanted me to be part of the panel. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So I didn't know who was going to be in the panel. When I get there, I see it was Major Nelson. I think one of the writers for Joystick at that time. I can't remember. It was a couple other ones too. I think one person was from Fragdolls, and I was sitting down, and I looked at the front, and I see the whole Destructoid squad right in front of me. And I know I gave you guys a shout out and stuff because I called out a website at that time that was having beef, but we're cool now. But it was cool that seeing you guys there, like, talk about new media. At that time, it was podcasts and blogs. Now everything changed. But how was it being there and talk about just new media? Actually, you were sitting there and listening about new media and everything, you know? So.
Dude, we were the rebels. It's funny. Like, you know, it goes back to what you said about Gamergate. It was like the whole distrust of the media. You're outside. You don't really know what's going on. And you're trying to figure it out. And then, you know, so we were Like we were the terrorists. So we were coming in with our rude, loosely formatted blogs and our unmoderated comments, and we were calling all these people out, and PR was freaking out. They were not ready for it. They were
freaking out. Why?
They didn't know what to do with it. PR controlled the message with the magazines for such a long time, and you would read a bunch of bull in a magazine you didn't agree with. You couldn't say anything. That's it. It's in print. And then a bunch of, even when I started, like major gaming sites, I think GameSpot didn't even have a comment section, and now it's like, of course you have a comment section. You gotta reach out to your community. They didn't have a comment section. You scraped your community into like a corner where they can talk amongst themselves, and we were putting community up front and center. And PR is looking at these articles with 300, 400 comments saying, "Oh my God, we lost control of our message, and we can't have bloggers coming into E3, and they're going to be running around with their webcams and filming God knows what content that we meticulously prepared behind the scenes that is supposed to look polished and manicured and perfect for the investors." And we were peeling that away. So gaming media has really evolved to enthusiast media, right? Like that's the norm now. It's people freaking out on their webcams about how cool products are. Destructoid made a name for itself for being very raw and accountable 10 years ago, and we still do that every day. But now everybody's doing it. So I gotta find out. I gotta pick a new angle.
Is there anything that influences you to make major change on your website now that gaming media has changed a lot? So if there's anything that influences you, like, man, I like this. I'm gonna start doing that for our website.
Yeah, we don't cover. Well, there's things I will do and I won't do. You haven't seen me in 24 months because I've been trying to figure out how mobile frameworks work. For like our website wasn't mobile. We had a mobile version, but it was like it wasn't like a mobile responsive site. So I had to adapt to that. So 50% of our readers are now mobile, which is crazy. So I feel like I'm not as dinosaurish as I once was. I'm trying to be hip with it. I got a smartphone and everything, but I feel like I have to kind of pivot towards. I wouldn't call it YouTuber content, but that's sort of like off the cuff, like quick video stuff. We don't really do that. I feel like a lot of young people learn about products that way now. And video is a big piece of it. So that's something I hope to do in the future.
I just remember right now, this is truly my last question. So I know you guys had a show on YouTube back in the days. It was very popular. Everyone used to talk about that a lot. For those that don't know, what happened? What happened to that show? 'Cause that was very popular, very influential, and it had some great content too, And I think that it helped get Destructoid even out there even more because of that show too,
Oh man, so not a lot of people know the story. I think I told the story once in one interview, but this is kind of like the brutal behind-the-scenes stuff that goes into being a website publisher. So I'm struggling. This is maybe 2009, and these guys out in San Francisco, they're doing a TV network called Revision 3. And their main video game show is quitting for some unknown reason. They're like rage quitting hard. And they need a new video game show. And, we have some mutual friends in common, and I get introduced. So I leave Miami, and I put all my cards on the table. Like, we're going to do this video game show, and we're going to be such a big success. And, their executives are giving me all these metrics, and, this is going to work, right? Yeah, 2 years into it, struggling, hustling, and making the show as good as it can. Company gets spontaneously bought by Discovery Channel, and nobody told me. So not only are we not making any money from this show, and I'm getting a contract from the Discovery executive saying, you guys need to sign over your YouTube channel, and we own all your content. I'm like, hell no, I'm not signing this. What the hell? Why would I do this? And So I'm in a silent legal battle to keep my YouTube channel against Discovery, and the Revision 3 dudes cashed out and peaced out and didn't tell me anything, bastards. I'm losing my video talent to IGN, and I can't, I don't have money to run a TV network. It's just like God, it's a terrible, terrible story, but luckily, my guardian angel, who now works at Polygon, Nick Robinson, fought within the company to not have our channel deleted, and eventually they gave up because I was obnoxious, and they let us keep our channel. And we still post stuff on YouTube, but it's not as awesome as it used to be because somebody else is bankrolling it and not paying us. So I mean that's just another story of the publisher hustle. You just got to go out and try, and you're gonna run into people doing deals that sound too good to be true, and you're gonna sign things that you probably should have read a little more carefully. And nobody likes lawyers, but man, lawyers are useful. When you have a good lawyer, it makes all the difference. Luckily, I walked out of that with my shirt on, but we lost the show. But I'm still here. I'm still doing it, and
still doing this thing. Hey
man, you can't knock me down. I get back up. But I hope to have a cool show like that in the future. And it goes back to what I do. It's like I have to figure out who my new talent is and how the advertising is going to pay for that, or whatever is going to pay for that. And how do we keep the party going? Because I love what I do. So I got to figure it out.
Was there any, forget about the whole business side, but was there any cool moments out of the whole 10 years? Maybe a community member story, anything cool that people never heard about?
Man, so many moments. I could fill a book about it. Like, even for me personally, I've been able to live my dream. I've traveled the world. I've been to every single video game conference. I went to Japan for a long time. That was super cool. I've been to Konami Japan. I've been Hudson Japan before it got bought out by Konami. Half of our staff has photos with Miyamoto. It's like every possible gamer's ultimate dream has happened, and I think that's why people that work at Destructoid stick with it, is because we were kids looking at this video game industry growing up, thinking, God, we don't want to work. We don't want to work doing anything else. We want to do this, and we got one foot in it, and we don't want to let go. Every time even though there's there's good E3s, there's bad E3s, it's still about E3 for me. It's still about being part of the insiders. I get to play the game that's not going to be out for 2 years. That's still a big piece of it for me. So in that sense, that's why I say I'm we have a phrase on our side we like to say. It's called living the dream, which meant something completely different before. Living the dream was coined when 10 of us were squeezing into a CES hotel room by ourselves because we couldn't afford it. We were all piling on top of each other. It smelled terrible, but we were living the dream. We got press passes. We were in. And now living the dream is we're media. We're living the dream. I'll never forget it, man. And it's something you said earlier today. It stuck with me. It's never forget where you're from. Never forget the people that got you there. Never forget what your initial feeling was. Money comes and goes, but life is short and you got to do what you love. So many moments, man. 10 years.
Yeah. So on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. But Niero, if people, maybe an upcoming writer or video editor would like to contact you, what's the right place for them to contact you, man?
Dude, it's niero@destructoid.com. Just hit me up, whatever. If you're having trouble with the site, if you don't know what to cook tomorrow for dinner, if you're running a site and you don't understand how advertising works, if you've been blogging for 15 years and no one's picking up your stories, I'll tell you why in 3 minutes. Just email me. I'm here. I'm a real person. I reply to my emails. Hit me up.
Awesome, man. Remember, also visit Destructoid.com. Niero, thanks for that, for the interview. It was a great conversation. I think it was laid back, chill, right?
As we do.
Yeah. Cool, man. All right, man. Thanks.
Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
All right, so that was Into It with Niero of the Destructoid. Had a great conversation with him. That was fun. Shout out to him and everybody over there. And yeah, so I think we're going to wrap it up, guys. But first, I definitely have to mention this. For the first time ever, I haven't subscribed to my Xbox Live annual account. I think I need to renew it very soon, but I'm just probably going to take a break from the whole Xbox Live stuff, man.
Wait. What? Hold on. You're
what?
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't even know what podcast I'm on anymore. Where am I?
No. I'm serious. I'm not trying to start anything. It's just like, lately I've been playing a lot of single player games, so I could renew it once, more games comes out. I could wait till like next month or something. There's no rush. So I just, first of all, I got back from E3, then I went to New York, Chicago, other places and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I haven't been playing. I've been really busy with a lot of things behind the scenes, man, So only single player games I've been playing. That's it. Well, I can renew it later.
Hey, Paris. I just got. I'm trying out these Razer Man Awards, and I think I might have had some fuzz or something in my headset. I don't know. Can you get clarification?
I don't know. I'm using these Sennheiser headphones we got from E3 a couple years ago. These damn things don't work. Kevin, take them back because I don't know what I just heard.
There's a glitch in the matrix.
All jokes aside,
yeah,
I get what you're saying because it's funny you bring up Xbox Live because mine is up, I think, in December. And I've already realized there's no point in me renewing for gold because I'm like, what am I getting? Because what you get out of gold now, I can't take advantage of because I don't own a console anymore. So I don't need Xbox Live Gold anymore. But I'm going to obviously keep PlayStation Network because, I still play multiplayer games on PlayStation. So that's funny. That's crazy. You say that having the console, you don't feel a need to have to have the benefits of multiplayer right now.
I mean, I could do that later, once, Forza Horizon 3 comes out, a couple other games, I'm like, all right, I need it, Now, the whole PlayStation Network, I think I'm also probably going to, cut it once my my subscription ends. So, yeah, I think it's good to be smarter nowadays with the whole, online stuff. Like, is it worth it? I use PlayStation 4 more for the single player games too. So
yeah. Trust me, I totally get it. And it's smart. I mean, if you're not taking advantage of the reason that you're paying this premium every year, why pay it?
Exactly. I mean, for you guys, it's better, because you have your PC. You really don't need an Xbox Live account, so why renew it? So. And honestly, this has nothing to do with no fanboy stuff. Like, I just I rather, do that later once a multiplayer game comes out that got my attention. And another thing too, with the whole PlayStation, once I take that out, I'd rather take that money and use it for another game that comes out for the PlayStation 4 or for Xbox or even for Steam, the Steam machine. So I just save my money,
Yeah, that's smart. That's
very smart.
I can dig it.
Yeah, cool. And don't be surprised next time when I say that. So, yeah, honestly, this is the first time that I actually taking a break from that for the first time in years, since 2001. So there you have it, folks. Breaking news. Don't faint. Let me dream. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. You guys have anything else before we end the show?
Oh,
how you follow that up?
I'll say this. Because it's kind of relevant now since you kind of knocked me out with your little announcement. So I went to MMA fights last night locally with some buddies, and it's the first time I've ever went to an actual MMA event. I mean, obviously it's minor leagues, not UFC or anything, but it was cool. It was fun. We had a blast, but I was cracking up because this one dude we saw, it took him longer to get to the ring than it was for the other dude to knock his ass out. Because I swear it was the quickest knockout I've ever seen in my life. It was literally like ding ding, and it was like boom, he was on the ground, knocked out. Oh, it's crazy. But dude, being there live and just hearing the strikes back and forth and watching the technique, you know, up close and personal, how people are getting out of moves and getting into submission moves and all that, dude. It was great. I had a lot of fun. I definitely got to go to more fights for sure.
Dope. Oh, I forgot to bring this up, man. I know they announced this also during Comic-Con. Sonic, have you seen?
I was surprised you didn't mention that.
Yeah,
earlier.
I just remember now because I know there was two different ones. There was one that they announced, which got my attention the most, the 2D style game that they're coming out sometime next year. Is it next year? Yeah, it's a 2D game of Sonic celebrating the 25th anniversary of the game. So that looks pretty cool. I can't wait to check that one out. And it's going to come out for the PlayStation 4, Steam, and Xbox One. And they also have another one, Project Sonic 2017. It's coming out next year, of course. And this one, I think, is Sonic Generations 2. That's what it is. So it looks dark. Don't know. I don't want to be too hyped, but we'll see. You know, I haven't played a pretty good Sonic game in a very, very long time. So, yeah, there you have it, folks. Sonic, the return. And I'm still waiting for Phantasy Star Online 2, Sega. Whenever you plan to release it here in the U.S., let us know, please. And yeah, Pete doesn't care.
Man, you should. Yeah, you killed it. You should have left on a high note with that.
It's all good. All right, head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it/gamertag and listen to our past episodes. And continue to send us questions. We're going to have a brand new episode all about fan mail once again. So make sure to send your questions to GTR. Give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Or email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com. Or you can always do this because people have been sending us a lot of messages through SpeakPipe. Go to speakpipe.com/gamertagradio and you can leave a message there too. So anything else? We out? Yes, we out. Peace until next time. Later.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.